All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Check out Pig and a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week in Marin from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., open Wednesday through Sunday in Emeryville. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. All right, I was down in Ninerland today. John Lynch spoke to the media before the draft. And, I'll tell you what he said. I'll tell you what he implied. Let's go through it right now. Said he was excited for the upcoming draft. He said the theme of the upcoming draft was depth. So if you want them to trade up, I don't see it happening. He likes the depth of the draft, and I think they're going to pick right there at 99. He talked about Brandon Aiyuk. A lot of people asked, is Aiyuk going to be dealt? And he basically made it real clear that Aiyuk is going nowhere, that he's going to be on the team this year, that he's going to be a 49er. He basically made it real clear that the 49ers' focus is all about this year, right now, and winning this year. And he wants Aiyuk on that team. Now, beyond this year, I think you can speculate, but this year, Aiyuk is there. He made it perfectly clear today. Nick Bosa is going nowhere. I can't even believe that question. Why would you even get rid of your best players? But somebody asked the question, is Nick Bosa going anywhere? John basically said no. He kind of laughed at it. Nick Bosa's not going anywhere. We did get an offensive line update. He was asked about John Feliciano, called him a glue guy, says he really likes Feliciano. He was asked about Nick Sakel, the guard from Fordham, who I love. Nick Sakel is a terrific guy, terrific player. I think smart, tough, physical. He can play right guard, maybe right tackle, definitely center and right guard. And he said that Sakel's been one of the guys who's been really impressive this offseason. So those were the minor topics. The major topic was Trey Lance, and are they going to trade Trey Lance? And there were several questions about Trey Lance. Very interesting dialogue about Trey Lance. This is what was said. Lynch admitted that the Niners don't tell everybody about what their plans are when it comes to the players, that they tell them on a need-to-know basis, but that they've been very transparent with Trey and his people in what's going on. So Trey's not in the dark. Trey's fully aware of where he stands with the team. Now, it sounds to me like the team is shopping him, but is not getting their price. But they have talked to him. They have told him where he sits. He's not being broadsided by any of this. And Lynch then went on to say he really loves Trey's mindset, which is he's got it simplified down to I just need to compete and improve my game. And as far as Lynch is concerned, that's all he needs to be concerned with, Trey at least as a player. Lynch made it seem like Lynch was not excited by the offers that have come in, or that maybe a lot of these offers are pending. Like, hey, if my guy's not there in the second round, I want your guy, but I don't want your guy if my guy is there in the second round. So I don't think he's got anything concrete on the table that's really exciting to him. I bet you there's teams that have just offered 4th and 5th round picks, figuring the Niners just want to get out from underneath Trey and are willing to try to steal Trey. And I don't think the Niners are in that mode to give him away. So Lynch seemed to indicate that he was not necessarily excited by the offers, calling it a lot of smoke. He was asked a direct question. Were Trey's agents involved in calling you guys and demanding a trade? He said no, straight out no. But it's interesting listening to him talk about his team and his quarterbacks. Brock is clearly their guy now. I mean, you can see it. He referenced it a couple times. And Trey has on the record has saying that, all he wants is a chance to compete. So it makes you wonder if he's not going to get that chance to compete here in San Francisco. Now, the one line that I think was the strongest from Lynch on Trey also is kind of a misdirection line. He was asked further about Trey, and he said, I expect Trey to be here. But he wouldn't guarantee it. And he wouldn't go on the record and say, definitely. Like he was asked about Aiyuk, and Aiyuk's being rumored to be traded, and he just shot it down and was like, no, Aiyuk's a big key cog, and we're trying to win this year, and Aiyuk's one of our better players, and blah, blah, blah. And he basically just, without basically saying Aiyuk is not going to be traded, he said Aiyuk's not going to be traded. When he was asked about Nick Bosa, he's like, that phone line's dead. Like, in other words, don't bother calling. We're not trading Nick Bosa. But when it came time for Trey Lance, he wouldn't go that far. He just says, I expect Trey to be here. So if that means he expects the offers to not be good enough for them to pull the trigger on, maybe that's what he means. Or maybe he's just playing coy, or maybe he's just kind of leaving it open. So if Trey's dealt, he can say, well, I expected Trey to be here, but we got a great offer. Or if Trey's not dealt, he can say, hey, look, I told you guys I expected him to be here. Whatever it is, they've been transparent with Trey and his representatives and his family, and they've told him how they feel and where he sits and where they're at. And obviously, he's not willing to guarantee he's going to be on the team, and there's still all kinds of rumors that he's going to be dealt. So who knows? But for the moment, I'll take John at his word. He expects Trey to be on the team this year. So I'll take that as his word and saying, you know what, he doesn't think he's going to be able to trade him this weekend. But you do get the sense that if they get an offer that they really like, that Trey's there to be had. And then John kind of finished up by just saying the characteristics of what he's looking for as far as players that he's looking to make Niners. And he said he wants guys who are tough and fast and football smart and dependable and physical and very, very competitive. So that's what he's looking at. He basically shouted out his scouting staff and his research and development team and his analytics people and all the people that go into preparing for the draft. He mentioned that he's got some new guys in the room this year helping out with it, with some of the new coaches and some of the new personnel people, and basically just said that he thinks the key to their draft success has been the collaboration between all the people they have involved in their process. He was also asked about Sam Darnold, said Sam's doing well, learning the 49er system. And then, he said that he really likes John Feliciano as a versatile guard and center, called him a glue guy, and really likes Zakel as a guy who's come on in the offseason. So there you have it. I would say the one thing that if you could look at this and say, hey, look, he just said they're going to keep Trey Lance, but he didn't really say that. He says he expects Trey to be here, but he's leaving open the possibility that if he gets an offer that he likes for Trey Lance, that he could pull the trigger on making a deal. So he kind of leaves his options open. My read is that you're going to have to come with a good offer. If you want Trey Lance, you're not going to steal him. And good. They shouldn't hand him away. I mean, he's too valuable of a player. To me, I would rather have Trey Lance than any quarterback really after the top 4 or 5. So that means those guys are projected to go in the top 7 of the draft. So if you're one of these teams that picks in the teens or 20s, or have the high pick in the second round, I think the 49ers would absolutely make a deal. And, we're going to find out how eager they are to make a deal because the Niners can sweeten the package. Somebody's willing to give you a late first-round pick for Trey Lance, but they want you to throw in conditional picks or third-round picks or whatever. You have the ability to do that. So we're going to find out exactly how much they value Trey Lance here in the draft weekend ahead, and it's going to be interesting. Did they talk to rookie quarterbacks as a smokescreen, as a due diligence, or are they legitimately interested in drafting a rookie quarterback and moving on from Trey Lance? We won't find out for sure until this weekend, but it should make the upcoming NFL draft very juicy. All right, hope you enjoyed the Niner video. Check me out on YouTube on The Krug Show, and thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being a proud sponsor of The Krug Show.